Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. After roasting insensitive and ignorant people and even well-meaning people who have no idea what to do or say to an unemployed person, it's about time that I talk about what you should do in a season of unemployment. As I am unemployed myself, these are some things that I've implemented or I'm learning or in the process of implementing. Sometimes it is difficult to do because, well, the state of mind makes things much stressful. It becomes to feel too lazy to do them. So you don't have to take all of the advices, but take at least a few of them. I think I'll divide this into parts because I have a lot of points. And even though I am sure I would not be listing everything that someone can do, I am listing the ones that I can remember. So stay tuned and let's get into this. So the very first point would be talk about it. Yes, I said it. Talk about it. At this point in your life, one thing that is going to be common is to feel shame and to feel embarrassed. And the best way to break shame off your life is by talking about it. You are unemployed. That's what it is. You're unemployed. And right now you can't afford a trip to Dubai. You can't change your wardrobe even though you are dying to do so. Some girl even left you because you are out of a job. Talk about it. Shame thrives in silence and in darkness. But you start to notice that when you talk about things, you realize that people actually understand. People can relate. It might not even be that big of a deal. Or even if it's that big of a deal, the more you talk about it, the more you just don't feel ashamed of it anymore. It just breaks off you to the point that people can shame the shameless. Yeah, I had to go there. Secondly, whenever you are being asked questions such as, so what do you do now? And any of the variations of that question, yes, I know how annoying this is. And unfortunately, you can't completely avoid these questions because if you avoid the people you know that ask this question, you are going to meet strangers. You are going to go for an event and someone who doesn't know you would ask you this question. In a society where we live in, it is expected that we should be doing something at a certain age. So it is not weird to get this question asked. And it is annoying and it is stressful and it makes you want to be embarrassed, which is why I already said talk about it so that the shame breaks off you. But to answer this question, be honest. If they ask you, so what do you do now? Tell them, I'm unemployed and I'm job hunting. The reason is because that is where you are at, and that is fine. And if peradventure you meet someone who suddenly has the keys to that exact kind of job you're looking for, by being honest, you get yourself help. If you're being asked questions like, okay, so you've been unemployed for 7 years, which is something I get all the time. So what is next for you? Be honest. You either tell them what is next for you if you have figured it out, or you say, I don't know, because you don't know. And that is fine. And if they try to keep pushing you or trying to keep pushing the subject further and you are not interested in talking more about it, tell them as politely as you can that you would like them to drop the subject. Now my third point, understand that your job status is not your identity. You are jobless, not purposeless. Everyone who has been put on this earth has been brought on this earth with a particular purpose, and you are no exception. And following up to that, my fourth point will be find out what your purpose is. For the purpose of this video, you see what I did there? For the purpose of this video, I am using the word purpose, but in real terms, it is called a calling, because as a Christian, we have all been made for the purpose of giving God glory. So we are all fulfilling purpose regardless of whether we are jobless or not. However, we have all been called to the Great Commission, go into the world and preach the gospel. But the techniques, the vehicles, and the giftings will differ in how you do this calling. So in this time of, or this season of unemployment, while you are deep in thought about what you can be doing to get this job you've been waiting for, also take the time to pray to God, to come closer to God and find out what exactly He has called you to do. Who knows, you might end up finding your calling, and your calling could be the type of calling that also pays your bills, and you don't even necessarily have to be looking for a job anymore. The fifth point is to build or cultivate your relationship with God. The time that you have is so precious. And right now, there is this part of you that is feeling like time is just ticking and you are just on a standstill and on a halt. This is the time to go back to your source. This is the time to build a relationship with Abba. This is the time to get to know who God is. And building a relationship with God and learning about God also brings you to a point where you find out who you are as well. The closer you get to God, the more you realize your identity, right? And this time is the time you have that. The people who are working a 9 to 5 or more, coming back late and having to repeat the same process every day. And some people even work on Sundays and Saturdays. They do not have the time that you have now. They might want to spend time with God, but they don't have enough time to spend with God. But you do. Take this season and use it to spend time with God. In this spending time with God, you also find out what your callings are. Okay? Next point is pray. Yes, yeah, I'm sure you guessed I was going to say that next. When you pray, you can make petitions. When you pray, you can make supplication. When you pray, you can make requests. Getting to know God is another dimension of prayer, but you can also pray and knowing that God does answer prayers. Do not be discouraged. God does answer prayers. And I can tell you for a fact that even though I've been 7 years unemployed, there are other areas of my life that God has come through for me, where God has honored my requests, where God has answered my prayers. So I can't go thinking that because God hasn't answered the prayers of my employment, then He doesn't answer prayers. God does answer prayers. Spend time praying to God. Pray and ask Him if there is anything that you should be doing instead. During prayers, you can get leading, guidance, redirection. Your purpose or your calling can be revealed during prayers. Your strength is renewed. Your faith is increased for this job you're waiting for. The strength you need to continue applying is gotten in the place of prayer. You also keep your joy. In this time, it is very common for you to experience a loss of joy. So in prayer, you keep your joy. And this is necessary in this season of your life. My last point for this video will be to spend time with family, friends, and loved ones. One of the greatest gifts we have been given on earth right now is the gift of relationships. Nothing beats that. There is a saying that when people are on their deathbed, they never regret not taking more time or not spending more time at work. They regret not spending time with family, friends, loved ones. Cherish the people in your life. Now is the time to build that relationship with your daughter. Build that relationship with your siblings while you still can. This season is going to end because everything will end. There is an end. There is no season that goes on forever. There is going to be an end. You might not know when the end is going to be, but there is an end. So right now, when you have the time, more time rather, spend it with your family, spend it with your friends, spend it with your loved ones. And yeah, so I have more points, but that will be in the part 2 of this video. So see you in part 2. I love you guys, and until next time.